I get it every time I'm scrolling through Amazon. There's a sleek scanner that promises lightning-fast speed and studio-grade image quality, but when I finally plug it in, the paper jams, the software freezes, or the colors look washed out. You're probably thinking the same thing, especially if you've already wasted money on a home office scanner that never lived up to the hype. That hesitation is why I dug into the details of the Fujitsu 550-900C before hitting record, and I'm going to walk through exactly what you can expect when you bring this machine into a real-world workflow. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the 550-900C is aimed squarely at small to medium businesses that need to push a lot of paper through a scanner each day. Think legal firms digitizing case files, accounting offices archiving invoices, or a busy medical practice scanning patient records. If you're the kind of user who runs a few dozen pages a week and is happy with a desktop flatbed, this model is probably overkill. Conversely, if you've been using a slower, older sheet-fed scanner that can't keep up with your daily volume, the 550-900C's 120-page per minute, simplex, and 240-page per minute duplex rates could feel like a genuine productivity boost. One of the first things I looked at was the paper handling capacity. A 500-page automatic document feeder, ADF, sounds impressive on paper, but the real test is how it behaves when you load mixed-size documents, a few staples, or a couple of thick invoices. In practice, the feeder is surprisingly gentle. The rollers have just enough grip to move sheets without crushing them, which means you can toss in a stack of legal-size contracts mixed with standard letter sheets and the scanner will keep feeding without choking. The low-profile design also fits under most office desks, saving precious space in cramped workstations. That said, the feeder isn't a miracle worker for heavyweight cardstock. You'll still want to separate those out to avoid occasional double feeds. Speaking of double feeds, Fujitsu's triple ultrasonic double feed detection paired with the intelligent multi-feed function is a key selling point. In a test scenario where I intentionally placed two slightly misaligned sheets together, the scanner flagged the jam immediately and paused the scan, letting me clear the extra sheet before continuing. For a high-volume environment, that saves you from rescanning hundreds of pages because the software missed a duplicate. It's not just a safety net for the occasional sticky page, it actually reduces the amount of manual quality control you have to do after the fact. Image quality is another area where the 550-900C tries to stand out. Fujitsu's VRS 4.1 hardware processing does the heavy lifting on the device itself, which means you don't need a powerful workstation to get clean, crisp results. When scanning a mixed batch of text documents, the monochrome output was razor-sharp, with no speckles or ghosting. Color scans of marketing brochures retained the original saturation fairly well, though they weren't quite photographic studio level. If your primary goal is OCR-ready PDFs for searchable archives, the scanner's output works nicely with most OCR engines, delivering clear text without you having to tweak contrast settings. Connectivity can make or break a scanner in a modern office, and the 550-900C offers both USB 2.0 and an ultra-wide SCSI interface. Most small offices will be fine with USB, and the plug-and-play experience with smooth Windows recognized the device right away, and the bundle drivers installed without a hitch. The ultra-wide SCSI port is more of a legacy feature, useful if you're integrating the scanner into an older network that still relies on that protocol. If you're planning a purely cloud-based workflow, you'll likely need a third-party software bridge, because Fujitsu's native software leans heavily on on-premise processing. Now, let's talk about the software ecosystem. Fujitsu ships the scanner with its own VRS, Visual Recognition Suite, package, which includes basic PDF creation, OCR, and batch processing tools. The interface feels dated compared to newer SaaS solutions, but it gets the job done. If your organization already uses a document management system like Kofax or SharePoint, you'll need to configure the scanner as a source, which can take a bit of time. The learning curve isn't steep, but it isn't plug-and-play either. You'll spend a few hours mapping folders, setting up naming conventions, and testing the Scantomail function before you reach a stable state. From a cost perspective, the 550-900C sits in the mid-range for enterprise-grade sheet-fed scanners. You're paying for speed, robust double-feed detection, and the 500-page feeder. For a company that processes 2,000 to 3,000 pages a day, that price point starts to make sense because the time saved translates directly into labor cost reductions. On the flip side, a freelance graphic designer who only needs to digitize occasional sketches will likely find a less expensive consumer model more sensible. So, who should buy this scanner? If you run a department where scanning is a core daily task, you'll appreciate the speed, the reliable feed mechanism, and the built-in image enhancement that reduces post-scan cleanup. It also makes sense for anyone who needs